All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mule Barn, episode 5. We got everybody back here tonight, minus Johnny. He said he was just going to listen, but we got Mr. Chad up there, Mr. Hillbilly Hara. He's actually with us tonight, Hara. Fully with us. He is alive. He is functioning. He is talking. How you feeling?
I mean, it's been a week. He's still a little hungover. He's got his glasses on.
Oh no, I don't get hangovers. I don't get hangovers. Never.
Your head was hanging over your shoulder last week. I know that.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of sleeping there. You work as hard as I do. Damn.
Yeah, we work hard behind our desks.
Yeah, you guys do. You got Mr. David Lorfano over there. How you doing, Dave?
Not too bad, buddy. Hanging in there. It's been a long day.
Long day already?
Old dial tone Dave over there.
Juggles.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
Decent. May have an call here soon.
It's hard to keep up with that type of energy, man.
You all sit there and tell me to bring all this energy to the intro, so I try bringing the energy and just...
Let me help you out.
Spiking my anxiety. I'm with anxiety attacks. I thought a deer was about to try and eat my ass. Fat fucking wang.
He's like, I'm over this already.
Never gets old.
My job takes most of the fucking energy I have, and so.
Yeah.
We're glad you could muster up enough to come join us again.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Back.
If you
Josh,
need to take a nap, just hang it to the left.
Yes.
Since nobody asked you, Josh, how are you today?
Are you taking?
I'm good.
Yes or no?
Did I take it? Oh, he's talking to this girl. Anyway.
Excuse
I'm
us,
good.
viewers, Juggles is parenting.
Yeah.
No, I need.
As I told the guys earlier, we talked about the last podcast of My Nightmare Ford.
Naturally, give me the day off or give me.
It is official. That truck is out of
Gone.
my life right now. It's gone. The customer has it. He's had it since Friday. There's been no calls or anything. So it's still living rent free in my head. I'm just waiting for him to call with something, but it's out of my shop. But other than that,
Juggles, you're not
I'm
muted.
doing
buddy.
good.
What?
You're not
What?
muted.
I know.
Okay.
Wait, what was said? What happened? What did I miss?
You were yelling at your wife.
You were
Oh,
having
yeah.
other conversations, and it was.
Yeah. Josh,
my
we
God.
were trying to celebrate Josh's victory at work tonight.
Yay!
It was a
Oh, I
victory.
heard part of that.
Yep. Oh, it's a victory right now, so. All right, we're going to get into it. As everybody heard last week, I wanted to host this week, which sparked an anxiety attack in all of my co-hosts here because they don't trust me.
Yes.
We were cautiously optimistic, is what I'm gonna
Cautiously
call it.
optimistic. But tonight we are going to get on the topic of how pretty much all of us met. Aside from me and Juggles, we've already said it was 4 to 4. But other than that, the majority of us have all met each other through iRacing. So we're going to have a little bit of iRacing questions, some real racing questions. Just kind of get the feel for all of us and how we enjoy iRacing, real life racing.
You can't
know
see it,
what?
but I'm gripping my wheel.
Yeah. Kind of see the top of mine, so.
Hey, Willie's got the cool wheel. He can take his off.
He does, yeah.
I have to. I'm so fat I can't get in my rig otherwise.
Well,
I have to get in and then put it on there.
was it on there last week when you were hunched over? It probably held you in position.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Wasn't helping him.
From what I hear, Hillbilly, your foot found one of the pedals on there, though.
Yeah. Apparently.
We did hear your girlfriend yell at you, though. And you kind of went, huh?
Can confirm that was the best fucking part. David.
Huh?
What?
That was by far the best part. Of being
It was.
Oh man.
I'll be sure and let her know she was the star of the show.
Mhm.
Oh, it was your reaction to just the
Yeah.
back out. Anyway, we're done. No, we're not done making fun of you. We're moving past you for a
We're
little
done
bit.
making fun of you on
We'll-
air.
We'll come back.
I'm not even
come
sure
back
if it'll
to
be
it
on
later.
there. We're done for the moment. But
All right.
we're going to start off. I had 4. It kind of turned into 5. They're a little expanded, so We'll see what we get through this week in terms of the questions. If we don't get through all of them, we'll throw them out at a different time. But we'll get through what we can tonight. So we're gonna start up here with Chad.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Chad's
hope
not
you
up
did
there.
your, hope you did your homework.
Oh, he's up there on mine. Oh,
I'm here
wait,
somewhere.
Here we go. Somewhere.
Am I
Anyway,
here? Am I not here?
question
Do we
question
really
one
know?
for the boys. What is your favorite iRacing track and car combo, or your favorite special event? I'm talking special event, be like the Daytona, the Rolex Daytona, or something like that.
Well, I mean, the special event is kind of loaded because the Daytona 24 is the one I've been a part of, and I was part of it for about 8 minutes and didn't go well. But car and track combo is a tough one. There's a lot of them that I like. I've been a pretty big proponent of the Gen 6 Cup car, which is there's some excitement around that now. Maybe not. We don't know.
Oh, we got the thumbs up.
Good deal.
But
I like
I
it.
really enjoy that Gen 6 Cup car on basically any type of short track like Richmond, Wilkesboro. I ran really well in it there. Martinsville, I absolutely love Martinsville. So I probably have to say a Gen 6 car on Martinsville would be one of my best, one of my favorite is, but that depends heavily on the people you're racing with.
Mexican has tacos.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Somehow
couldn't
I feel
help
like I
it.
should have expected that, and I 100% didn't.
Sorry.
This week's
Fucking
this week's-
racist.
This week's sponsor is Goya.
Oh, man.
God. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were very
Carry
sorry
on.
for that quasi
Moving on.
racist interruption. But
Anyway, so
no,
Gen 6
I-
Martinsville.
I love Gen 6 at Martinsville, but I also love the trucks at Martinsville too. They're very similar. But like I said, any experience at Martinsville, it depends a whole lot on who you're racing with and whether or not they know what they're doing, because Martinsville is a very difficult racetrack. And you can really turn, it takes one driver to turn a race into a shit show. And we've seen that several times in our league with several different drivers who shall remain nameless
When
on
they
this
don't.
podcast. Josh,
wait.
Josh wants to blurt one out. Don't do it. We're not
I
doing
didn't
that
blurt
here.
anything.
What about? Yeah, I mean, we've seen drivers that say they don't know where their nose is.
Yeah. Now we're thinking, hey, good news is, Dave, we're thinking about the same guy.
Okay.
He always says he's sorry, though. That's good, though.
Yeah.
He
As
doesn't
Sorry.
long
say
as he says he's sorry, it doesn't matter then.
He's still trying. 12 races into the season, he's still trying to figure out where the nose of his car is.
I feel like I've missed something since I haven't been around too much. But anyway,
Mhm.
I agree with Chad though. Pretty much anything at Martinsville is pretty good, to be honest.
No,
I like Martinsville as well. It's,
Yeah.
Juggles, you run well at Martinsville for how much you hate it.
it's road course like.
It is. It drives very much like a road course.
New Hampshire drives more like a road course for me than fucking Martinsville.
See, that's
I
why
can
I
see
like
that.
New Hampshire is because
I
of
can see that.
Martinsville. I like Martinsville, and then you step it up just a little bit bigger,
Mhm.
twice the size. But
Like
I like them both flat.
New Hampshire is fun. It's very challenging because it's hard to find grip.
There's nothing like New Hampshire. I think was what makes it fun.
Okay, bye,
New
Juggles.
Hampshire.
Fuck you.
We're
There's
not
no.
recording a podcast here or anything.
You suck my
hey, say it
balls.
louder for the people in the back.
Oh, man, you just can't find good help nowadays.
Fuck you.
All right, we'll move on to the next one then. So Chad says Gen 6 or trucks at Martinsville, Mr. Hillbilly.
So there's a couple things I want to say. Well, I like old Atlanta, Gen 6, next gen, whatever. I like that track. It
yeah.
wears the tires out. It's fast, it's slick, love it. But if I have to pick a favorite, I'm into the drafting, man. I enjoy Talladega and a Gen 6 or a next gen. Next gen's a little harder, but being able to work with another driver and you see how much speed you can gain on other drivers, that's amazing. In races in the past, that's being 12 seconds behind, and 3 or 4 cars get together and just run down the field and finish 1, 2, 3, I believe.
Yeah, and if I can jump in, like I'll say one thing about plate racing. Plate racing is fun to me, but it's never fun during the race. It's always if you finish and you have a good run, it's like, man, that was a blast. But when you're in there, it is so stressful.
Well, it's white knuckle, but
Oh,
I'm
man,
squeezing the
it's-
wheel.
It's so stressful, and you're just like, oh god, like and like I said about Martinsville, it really your experience really depends on who you're racing with. So that's one of the reasons that a lot of us got into league racing in the first place instead of running officials on iRacing because
Those tracks require patience.
exactly, and it's not something you find in officials very often. Sometimes in leagues, if you know our past couple seasons are to be judged. But
Anybody out? Not calling anybody out.
and no, I'm not calling anybody out either because I've had my impatient moments myself, and so is everybody in this frame, and Juggles since he's neglected to join us.
Hi, Juggles. Good
but,
talk. Oh, here he comes back.
uh,
Nice guy.
I'm eating. Fuck you.
we'll just eat with the camera on.
Just fucking eat.
Look, the people want to. The people want to see this adorable face.
That's right. They want to be inside your stall there.
So deep inside.
Fucking
All right,
you.
we're going there, but yeah, those are the types of tracks I like.
Yeah, I like-
Old Atlanta's one of my favorites.
I like restrictor play, but I'm not very good at them, to be honest. I hate if I'm being pushed, I'm okay, but trying to push somebody, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I'm
that
not
doesn't mesh
comfortable-
well.
I'm not comfortable pushing.
I like pushing. I like getting on there and getting the bumpers locked together and just go as long as you can.
Mhm.
I think
It's
the
hard to
most
do.
best I've done at those are races with Juggles and with me where me and him are drafting, he's pushing me. Is when I seem to have the best luck is him on my bumper. With the trucks a couple seasons ago, I think it's been 2 seasons now. I've led like 58 of the 60 laps, but I ran out of fuel on the turn into turn 3
Oh yeah.
and wrecked the entire field because I didn't have enough fuel to get to the line.
You ran out of fuel in the last lap. What's that like?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad doesn't know anything about that.
Oops.
We'll get to that one later.
Yeah, we'll get. Oh,
All right, so Dave, what is it? What is your favorite track?
I think everyone knows this, and I don't know why. I have no clue. But Nashville Super Speedway and anything.
I was
don't-
between that and Indy.
Indy's
I was
coming
gonna
up
say, I was
later,
flip.
but yeah, I don't know why. I just as soon as that track came on the service, I don't know. I took to it.
I had to talk you into coming into practice with me when
I
it came on because I wanted to run. I wanted us to run it in the league, and you're like, I don't know, and I was like, get in here with me, and you drove
It's-
it. and
it's
fell
one
in
of
love with
those. It's one of those things like I run good there, and I can't explain why, and other people fucking flat out hate it, and I.
well, you're good. You're
You're
good at
fast,
tracks that require braking.
it. Mhm.
That's one of the things.
I think
is it
that's
a
the
mile
thing.
and a half truly, or is it a 1.33 like Darlington?
It's not quite a mile and a half.
It's a 1.3.
Tracks that
1.3.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you're-
just
you're
shy of
trail
a
braking.
mile and a
Trail-
half, where like
yeah,
Kansas and all that, you're flat out in pretty much everything.
yeah.
But that one, you have to brake, and
I brake like
Yeah.
Nashville's more like Hillbilly said it. It's a trail braking track. You're not really
It's a
using
driver's-
brake.
Yeah.
You're
Just like
trail
Indy.
braking. Yeah.
Indy, while they're 90 degrees, it's still you're carrying so much speed. You're just trail braking to get
Just-
the thing set.
And
turn.
and that's another track I'm typically good at or decent at is Indy.
I mean, you want to talk about
Yeah,
places where
but-
somebody was fast and couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it in the trucks at Iowa the other day. I don't know how I was fast. I fucking hate that track with a passion. I don't care what fucking car it is. I hate Iowa. Unless it's the Star Mazdas and
Pro
Higgins coming
Mazda.
around on it. Pro Mazda and Higgins is coming
Mazda
around
in
the
Iowa.
outside trying to get a lap back. That was fucking amazing.
That was entertainment.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
I know what
Nashville
you mean.
for
I know
me.
what you mean though, Dave. I know what you mean,
Nashville
Dave.
Super
When you
Speedway.
talk about being good for like no reason at a racetrack. Like that was me in the Gen 6s at Dover. Like I just
Who
I
won
had to
that
figure
one?
something- Josh, you won that one. Thanks to a driver that was
I wonder how he won that one.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop for a second. Josh, did you beat me heads up?
No, I led a lot of laps though. It wasn't heads up, but I did.
No,
I wasn't.
No, Joshua, I asked you
Beat him
yes or
on
no question.
Did you beat me
on
heads up?
speed?
No.
Thank you. Who-
But
like,
was it completely out of the question for me to have a chance to do it? No.
if I could finish a thought,
No. I'm hosting.
I'm giving you. I will give you your due. You were very fast that night. But if it went more than 15 laps,
oh no, then I was done.
I was coming. Like, and the thing is, and you look, staying out of trouble is part of the deal. You did that better than I did, so I'm not taking that away from you at all. I've for some reason seemed to be good in those cars on concrete racetracks because I won the race at Bristol that year. It just flat out dominated that race, and I ran decent at Nashville Super Speedway. Although we never ran there in the Gen 6 car. I would like to see how that would go.
Be a good race.
Ran where?
Nashville
Gen
Super
6 in
Speedway.
Nashville.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
All right, so we got Chad with anything at Martinsville, or Gen 6 or trucks at Martinsville. Hillbilly says super speedways and pretty much anything. Dave's anything at Nashville, super speedway. Not to be confused with the fairgrounds. Juggles.
So,
Iracing track combo or special event? I threw that special event in there because I figured you might have that one. I didn't know.
well, okay, so I guess I'll answer both of. I'll give an answer to both of those. I enjoyed the Daytona 24 over running the Daytona 500 special event. Granted, those are the only two special events I've ever ran. And the only reason...
Indy 500.
No, I never even ran that. Like, I ran 5 laps and missed my pit stall 3 times, Chad. We don't need to talk about that one.
Ouch.
That was not a run. That was...
Like it was my fault.
Oh my God.
You were watching on Twitch. I'm blaming you.
I was also commenting the whole time.
I know. No, but as far as special event, I'll say the 24 over the holy shit, the 500. The 500 until it got like spread out was just the most stressful fucking thing in the world. Like the 24 is stressful, don't get me wrong, but I mean you were able to like sit there and I could just take off laps. Let's go. We're gonna take off laps. Yeah, get into
a rhythm, yeah.
As far as car and track combo, as much as I like the Gen 6 at New Hampshire because that was just a weird race that I found speed in, I have to say anything at Bathurst. In all seriousness, like Bathurst is a ridiculous track to get good at. It's a difficult track to be fast. And when you set that lap time, you get close to even what some of the fast guys are doing in like a GT3 car. It is ridiculous. That's the feeling of getting around that track clean is amazing.
I think I own that track.
Like a close second for me would be like any of the street courses in just about any car. Like getting around a street course and putting a clean lap down that's fast is just there's a feeling about it that's just really nice.
I can tell you how bad the Chicago street course kicked my ass this past season.
Amen.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about the Chicago street course either. No.
Well,
I think
it's a car that's not meant for it.
That was actually like it was a fun track till I got on it with other people.
Well, it was fucking terrible.
That fucked
just
everything
me.
up. Dude, I had fun practicing that track. It's like the line became so obvious once it got pointed out to me, but it's like once it's just so easy to overrun a turn. And I did it on the first lap. Fucked my race up. Fucked Rodney's race up. Rodney was pissed at me the rest of the night.
I think that's that's what I was gonna say. That's what we got. Juggles, move.
And that was in practice because it was me, Louis, Delgado, and Dave. Who else was there? I think Johnny was there. And we're just practicing the track, and we get into I guess what would have been the back straightaway into the 90-degree left.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of being dumb. Like I'm gonna brake late. I hit the brakes late, and I felt everything lock, and I'm in line with Louis. Like no, move. Like,
like where the fuck you want us to go?
Oh man.
I agree.
It's
The
so
24-hour of Daytona is fun. I
wish
do
we
enjoy
had-
that.
We've
That's
had
a fun
great
course.
runs up until like the first year was hour 5. This last year was hour 7.
Well, I wrecked us
You're getting
first in
better.
the first one.
Yeah, we're getting later until we buy the farm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but by the time you wrecked it the first year, but we were still in the top 20 by the time you got out of it.
I think
Yeah.
so.
And then, I mean, no offense to, I don't know, was it you that got in next? Yeah, you got in next to the first year, Chad, and your computer was just taking an epic dump on you.
Yeah, my computer was horrible. Just it was fun and like practice with you guys, but the like I still have the same GPU in my new build because I haven't bought a new one. It's just so weak. Once all the other cars were on the racetrack and it had to render that much more data, it completely shit the bed. I blinked out and it didn't come back. The picture didn't come back to me until almost 11 seconds later, and I'd already wrecked 2 cars.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I've got to get out. I can't do it. Like, yeah, that's probably where the Red Shell Racing moniker came from.
Oh, there's another
probably started
driver that really started that later. To not be named. But
On the note of car and track combo, I don't mean to step on any of the questions you have, Josh, but very quickly, what car and track would y'all like to see put in the game?
I didn't even think of that one.
That's tough because there's not a lot that aren't in the game.
Oh, there's
Cars
well,
anyway.
I'd say there's a ton of short tracks, but I think there's more to come now that Junior's more involved. I think there's a lot of paved ovals and some more dirt coming. But
I think you're going to see some more local track styles like Dominion here, where I live. You're going to see some more tracks like that get put in.
You see the Dominion with NASCAR being a part of that track.
Well, it's a Cars Tour track, and it has been for the last couple of years. Yeah. And with Burton, Harvick, and Junior taking over the Cars Tour, I know there's a 4th guy who I'm forgetting. But
is it Marks?
Yes, it is Marks. You're right.
That's Marks.
With those guys at the helm, like it's hard to see Junior not being like, "Hey guys, we have a lot of up and coming late model guys who want to use this as a practice tool. Why not load their tracks in here too?"
Yeah.
And I think at least with the cars, I think you can at least look for the Cars Tour tracks to get put in. I would love to see Dominion get put in there. My brother's is toying with the idea almost constantly of buying a legend car, and that would be invaluable to him if he can get a legend car, and because legend cars are not easy to drive around that place. Like that track is extremely fast for legend cars.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine with the banking and everything, it'd probably be flat out the majority of the time, wouldn't it?
Talk to Peter. It's definitely not flat out.
Not flat out.
It's not. The banking looks steeper than it is, especially at the speeds. Those cars don't have a lot of grip, and they're way overpowered. So they can't hold that. They can't hold that corner like that.
Yeah.
So is it just very high speed, but or high momentum, I guess, for those cars?
For those, yeah, because I mean they've got so much pickup, like they've got so much acceleration off the turn. They build speed really quickly in straightaway.
Okay.
And
it'd be like any of the true NASCARs at Nashville, then, where you can get speed down the straightaway, but when you get to the corner, it's not going to hold. Even though there's banking, it's not enough banking to hold. It's
all throttle time, which if anybody from NASCAR is listening, of course they are. They're big fans of ours. Then we should.
Dale Jr., we want you to listen to us.
Yeah, we really need more horsepower and less tire. Thank you very much.
Oh. Sorry. Continue.
Gen 4?
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's more horsepower and less tire.
That's the first one, boys. That's the first one.
Oh, yeah.
So, Josh, what's yours?
You guys know mine, but I'm going to say it.
Kansas and trucks.
No,
Kansas.
Trucks at Vegas.
Trucks
at Vegas number one.
I thought for sure you were going to say Kansas.
Yeah, I did too.
Trucks at Vegas. After that would be trucks or Gen 6 at Kansas or Vegas. They drive very similar to me, but
which Cup car?
Gen 6.
Gen 6.
I didn't entirely mind the next gen at it this last time that we went. The first time we went, I feel like well, you guys all remember we switched to the Gen 6 car, or not the next Gen 6, the next gen car. We had an entire season where they basically based the package off of what the current Gen 6 cars have.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went into the next season. Daytona was based again off the Gen 6 car, but then we go to Vegas the next week. And Iracing throws this big we had this big practice on Monday. Everybody's ready to go, everything. And iRacing comes and throws this big update. Boom. Here's the specs for the new next-gen car. And we've got to race that night.
Surprise.
Again, like anybody that's done the iRacing, they know what we're talking about. People who don't, but in like the Gen 6 and the way it was set up in the trucks, Vegas is flat out for the first 10 to 15 laps on the bottom. And we all go into this practice session before our race in the next gens after they've done this. And I'm 100% sure I'm not the only person to do it. We go into that corner flat out, expecting this thing to stick. And the next thing you know, you're ass backwards into the fence because it was not what we had practiced for 3 hours the night before.
Well, you couldn't come in on the throttle was the problem.
Oh, you couldn't touch the
turn
throttle.
the nose down.
Yeah.
None of your muscle memory made sense. And just for the people listening who don't understand what we're talking about with the update and everything, is that like Josh was saying, they released this car on iRacing before the car ever hit the racetrack. So they had no data on the car. They basically played a big guessing game on any of the specs of that affect how the car will handle the data they build in the game that affects how the car handles and how it drives. So once they had all that, they came in and updated it. And what happened is that we did a practice based on all the data they made up. And then that night they hit with the download with the real world data, and the car drove completely different. And it was just so hard to get our heads around it and everything. And just, it made that, nothing else, it made that race very, 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 very interesting.
Like me and Chad, we both have struggled with this car.
Mightily.
Like
and
Gen 6,
I struggled as well because I missed a lot of time in the car.
I have too, yeah. But
from you from just doing dad things, and me, I was hurt for a while, and also I've gotten frustrated and taken a couple breaks due to other reasons. But it's like I give props to Hillbilly and Dave over here, and Juggles. Juggles is running well too in that car, man. It's not easy to do.
It's a tough car to learn.
Very.
I still don't. We'll get into all that stuff at a different point, probably about the car, but we're gonna move on.
Yep.
We're gonna start with Mr. Hillbilly this time. What's your favorite moment in iRacing? Favorite thing that you've done with the sim?
Winning. I mean, that's a pretty easy answer, right? Anytime you win, that's the best time you've ever had.
Any specific one though? Like anything just stand out? Like this is the best thing I've done on this sim.
Dang, I don't know. I think the best thing I've done on this sim was meet a community of people that I enjoy hanging out with and doing podcasts. I mean, it's serious. I enjoy doing it, and to be in a good community really means a lot. It helps a lot. We've had some toxicity in our league, but we still have a core group of friends and people that enjoy hanging out, and that's probably the best thing I've done with it. But on track, the last two Atlanta wins, both of them were kind of the same. Late cautions, setting, sixth with just a couple laps, sixth or seventh, couple laps left. And no, I'm on the fresher tires.
Was the first one of those where you got me?
Yeah. Took it 3 wide. That was probably one of the greatest passes.
Now, Hillbilly, you know the rules. You're not allowed to enjoy a win. If you beat Hetrick, you're winning.
Right.
Oh, you are. That was a good race. I did the same thing to him. I had to do it about 5 laps earlier than I really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of stacked everybody up, but it was the same move, but I didn't have tires like he did to make it work.
Well, this year's Atlanta win was just as good. And if you guys could have heard Louis, who was spotting by this time because his internet messed up, screaming and yelling and trying to coach this thing through, it was wild to hear and to experience. And it was fun beating Lilith there at the end with feet. So that was a good thing.
It does change it too when you've got a good friend spotting for you, whether it's an official or whatever. Like my first ever truck series, my first ever win in iRacing was a truck win at Texas. At Juggles spotting for me, We come off of turn 3. There's nobody behind me. It was like a green-white checker. You just hear Juggles, go, 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 go.
Yeah,
He's
you
more
pumped up
excited
for
than I
sure.
am, man. I'm sitting here like, Juggles is like, ah!
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a cool moment like that with Peter Terrio when he was driving for me in trucks. That I was doing. I forget what I was. I think I came in late and I didn't race the race, so I jumped in and helped him, and I was spotting him towards the end of it. It's when he won at North Wilkesboro, and just it was kind of cool because we all know Peter. We know he gets excited. He's very excitable in certain situations. Then there were a couple late cautions there that he started unraveling, and I'm like, look, dude, like you've been the fastest truck out here all night. You're going to be fine. Just keep doing what you've been doing. You'll do it. And he was able to pull it out and me and him were both like yelling at each other when he went across the line. It was a cool moment.
Was that the race where we were running and all of a sudden it was like there was an oil slick in turn 1 and we all like just about fucking crashed and died? Was that Wilkesboro? There was a bunch of us, all the front runners. We were up there running away with everything, and all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 of us just got loose for no reason down in 1.
I don't think so because you guys were broadcasting that one.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different race then.
Like 2 seasons
might have been.
It was a cup race.
Season before that.
Might have been the cup race.
Probably was the cup race in Vegas where we all went to the corner. There was no grip anymore.
Looked like they go back and watch the first turn of the inaugural cup race at Texas, the real one.
You can find a lot of these races we're talking about at the All American Racing League's YouTube page and at Racing Media.
Racing Media.
There it is.
Yep.
You're such a good spokesperson for the league.
Hey, you gotta plug it in when you can plug it in, man.
We have our own personal Michael Waltrip over here.
Somebody's got to do it.
All right, we're gonna skip Dave on this one for a second. We're gonna go to Juggles.
Oh shit! What was the question?
Please stop pointing. You're not pointing at who you think you're pointing at.
Damn it. All right, my bad. What was your favorite iRacing moment?
Ooh. I'm split, if I'm honest. Because
was wrecking Johnny in the 4th turn of that Richmond race. Was that one of them?
Rocket ship. Was that what I yelled?
Oh man, I wish Johnny.
I think that's what I've heard. Rocket ship, yeah.
Oh my god, rocket ship! Everybody.
I think I know what our next sound effect's gonna be, boys.
Yeah, we need that one.
No, I'm split between 2, and here's why. I like Bristol. I really like Bristol.
Love Bristol.
What is it? Hold on. Oh. I've never ran super well at Bristol. It's a fun track. The one time that I had fun was in the truck when me and Josh were just doing a bunch of officials to kind of together, semi-sorta together. But last season at Bristol, I'm split between that and my Talladega win in the trucks after I got damaged. On the last fucking lap, I caught just enough of a draft to start pulling on the guys in front of me. They wrecked down into the grass. I had just enough momentum and enough pull before that to get half a truck in front before the guy on the bottom decided, I'm going to turn hard right up the fucking hill and wreck me over the line. I still won the race. And Bristol's a close second for that because of that was not a great race. I was not doing well. I got wrecked with 25 to go, I think, or enough time for another pit stop to happen for everybody else, and managed to finish second behind Adam.
Good job, guys.
Chad?
So I have pretty much 3 highlights in my time in the league.
Beating me by 2 points for a championship.
That's one of them. That's one of them. It may surprise you that's not. I mean, winning a championship was awesome, but that's actually not my number 1. It's up there. Winning my first race in the league was pretty cool, but that's also not the number 1. I've got to say that win at Bristol was probably top of the line for me. If I remember, I just read the post because it was in my memories just a few weeks ago. I think I led it was a 250 lap race. I led 187 laps of that race. Lapped the whole field. It was a long green flag race at Bristol, which is rare. And also, like, I think there were 2 or 3 races leading up to that race where I almost won and something happened, like including the Dover race and the Kansas race and everything, where I was in position and something stupid took me out. So to just go out there and just like lay it on the wood, especially against, we had a bunch of, cocky crybabies in that race who thought they were just going to show up and run the table, and the old guy went out there and waxed their ass, and that was fun.
I haven't seen any since. Almost.
Wait, what?
What? David?
Well, I thought about this for a while when you posted it. I've had 3 or 4 championships in the league. I've had some good wins, but my favorite moment, and Hillbilly knows this, is beating Hillbilly off of turn 4 at Indy.
Yeah, he's telling my worst moment story. But go ahead.
That's Hillbilly's worst moment. So,
it's a good race.
But I think it was what made it fun is I think me and Hillbilly kind of took off with 15 to go or something like that. It was just me and Hillbilly. There's no one else coming.
I can tell you that because I was running third. Y'all walked away from me.
Yeah, me and Hillbilly pretty much ran away with most of the race. But I think it was coming down to maybe 7, 8 to go, and I was behind Hillbilly. And I'd get a run, at Indy, you can kind of suck right up on that guy in front of you getting in the corner. And I just chose to ride behind him for the last, from 8 laps to go right to the finish. And it was the first race where I actually thought about, in my head, I'm running, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get around him? Planning it. And I kept watching everything he was doing. And I said, my one chance is going to be off of turn 3. If I can get off of turn 3 and get below him in turn 4, I can get him. But I just had to figure out how to set it up. So I sat there, and I think a couple laps prior, I kind of ducked to the high side coming off of 3, and I see him move up a little bit. But then I'd stay behind him. So coming to the one to go, I said, that's my chance. I'm going to make it look like I'm going to go to the outside of him off of turn 3. And when I did that, he instantly moved high in turn 3 or on the exit, and I drove it to the bottom in 4, and he missed his mark getting into 4, and it was game over.
Yep, gave him that inside, and I couldn't pull down to make him a mark.
The first time a plan in my head actually fucking worked out.
It worked to perfection.
It did work out.
I was just gonna say that, Dave. Doesn't it feel awesome? When a plan just works out like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I got under him in 4, I kind of said, I can't believe that fucking worked, and then I said, we're going to fucking both wreck this thing off of turn 4 because I know he wasn't lifting and there was no fucking way I was lifting. So it was going to be whatever happened coming off of 4. So
but see, I had a similar feeling like that and I've told you this story before. The racing you and when I said I won my first race in the league was at Daytona in the Xfinity cars. And I was restarting behind you. You were leading. I was in third, so I was behind you, and I was like, under caution, I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, all right, I need to shove Dave as far out as I can possibly get him. Then hope with everything I've got that a line forms just to my outside that I can jump up in front of. So I can leave him with no help and have them push me forward, and then I'll just try to have to finish.
What a great friend.
And it's literally, there are no friends in a green white checker to Daytona. And also, I didn't really know Dave at this point. He could have been an asshole. Who knew? But but no, it literally, I remember going green and I'm like, okay, I shoved him hard. Like I say, I don't like pushing in a plate race. I was shoving the shit out of him on that restart. And before I looked, I was like, okay, I think it was Johnny that was behind me and I had 4 or 5 car lengths on him. I was like, okay, this is working. And I looked in my graphical mirror because I had it pointed to the right side and I'm like, holy shit. Are you kidding me? And I look, and there's 3 cars forming up right on the outside, and we're coming off of 4, and I was like, okay, whoop, right up in front of him. Next thing I know, Dave's falling back, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Here we go. So, and luckily, Johnny helped me out as well, going by wrecking the field, going through 3 and 4. So I only had to fend off 2 cars to the line. But yeah, that was a good feeling, man. That was a good feeling winning the first race, and then I didn't win a damn thing else that season except for the championship, and won one more race the next year, and I need to do more of that.
No, I need to do more of that.
You haven't got one yet. You
No
need to
shit.
just get one.
No shit.
The past 4 races have been won by the same person. We all need to do some of that.
Yeah.
That was
I'm wondering how, spoilers, I'm not going to say what the adjustment's going to be, but we all know.
Will affect
I wonder
how it's going to be perceived.
I wonder how it's going to be taken, because we know that our specific populace of drivers doesn't always deal with change the best. So
Green or purple? Purple.
I know it is what it is. We do what we feel we want to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, I look at it the same way as how suddenly when the track got changed for a race, everybody took it to mean, well, let's debate what track we want. It's like, no, the track was announced that we're going to. This discussion is closed.
Yeah, well ahead of time.
Made is done.
Yeah. And honestly, I loved seeing that response, because it's like, this is
well, I mean, it's good to have input, but
when
not when the decision had to be made, it's already made final.
Yeah, when we announce something that, look, we're not going to this track, we're going to this track instead. That's a closed-ended statement. There is no discussion after that.
There was no
question. Agreed on that. I mean, I do like the fact that we do allow, suggestions, and have implemented a lot of suggestions through those.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's good, and it's one of the reasons that our league is still as healthy as it is. But another thing that's opened up the door for is certain personalities that we deal with. They think that if they bitch enough, that we'll do what they want, and they're justified in that because we've done that before. So, but yeah, like it's, I think some are going to like it better than others, and other than that, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to hear what all the changes are going to be. I know I have an idea on quite a few of them, but I'm excited for the announcement.
I like it too, I think.
Who's next?
So that one, that's me. Last one. As much as I put this up here, this is one of the 4 that I really didn't think about.
You thought of it.
You're the host. You're supposed to have all the answers.
I
my God!
Thought of the question, but I honestly, this is one of them that I just kind of blew over having an actual answer.
So let's think. Josh's greatest moments.
Yeah.
I'll try to think of one for you.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
There's not very many.
Winning Daytona in the Gen 6 car. First year with the Gen 6 car when you won Daytona.
That's so when I said this and I had to sit there, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think of one, and I was trying to go through my head. That was up there, but you're gonna see a common theme now that I'm saying this. I think my favorite moment was last fall when officials were running the trucks at Vegas. I went out, I ran 3 races over that week. I qualified first in all 3 of them. I ran up front for 99% of the laps in all 3 of them, and I won all 3 of them. So just for that fact, where I went out 3 times in the same truck, same car, at the same track with different people, was able to run on pole, lead almost the entire thing every time, and win it. That to me is one of the highlights, to be able to do that, just to show again how much I like that combination of Vegas and the trucks. But if it was something to do with the league, actually I think it would be my Texas win in the next gen cars before the update, where I held off Cameron Harris on a green-white checker to win it, because we all know Racing Cam, he's fast as hell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say Cam is one of the hardest guys to beat and the cleanest guys to race with.
Yep.
That's a
like,
fact.
I got to give him that. And I'll say the same thing about Lilith. Dude, Lilith, she is crazy fast. She is extremely, extremely intelligent behind the wheel. Like, she rarely puts a wheel wrong.
Unless her wheel comes off.
Yeah, her wheel comes off. That's a problem. But
she's consistent as hell, that's for sure.
No, but yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, she's consistent, she's calculated. Like, she almost never puts a wheel wrong, man. You rarely ever see her make a mistake. And those are the people that are hard to beat.
Yeah. The biggest thing I see.
She did kind of spin her tires in one of the infield. Was it Charlotte or
Well, I mean, none
wasn't
of
it
us
Martinsville? Or
none
she
of us are
missed a shift?
completely. I mean, none of us.
No,
are
we
perfect.
all make mistakes, but yeah, no, she's very very consistent, lap after lap after lap, most anywhere.
Yeah, like her, and there are others that I'm forgetting. I know, McQuaid's a hard charger. He's hard to run again.
McQuaid's very competitive.
So,
and the thing about McQuaid, and and Lilith, and also Cam, among others that I haven't named, is there have been people in our league that some may still be in, some may not be, that when you go into a turn door to door with them, you worry.
Yep.
And Cam, like I said, Cam, Lilith, and
Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Sorry, McQuaid, I forgot you for a second. Those are people like, I'll dive that thing on their outside going into turn one anywhere and feel okay about it.
Yep.
And I know that short of them making a mistake, I'm going to be fine.
It's all about the people you practice with, you race with a lot. I mean, me and Dave will run lap after lap, side by side, right on his door.
Same.
And I don't worry about it. Josh, on the other hand, I will not do that.
I wouldn't blame you.
No,
I wouldn't do it either.
I do gotta say that, our friend Johnny May, who's not here tonight, he gets a bad rap sometimes, and we do pick on him a lot.
He does.
With different things. But I'll tell you right now, me and Johnny ran a 100-lap late model race at South Boston. And I'm sure all of you who run South Boston, how tight that track is.
Yeah.
Me and Johnny ran door to door for probably 15 laps and maybe only made contact once. It was amazing.
He's got
to run
a lot
side
of
by side.
Really
He likes the short track stuff, so that's where he's most competitive. Yeah. But it was a blast to run with him, and it was just the two of us. But it was incredible to run door to, and the only contact was just typical short track stuff, just little touch or whatever. It's like 0x. Yeah. So, but there's, like you said, there's some guys I wouldn't do that with. Like, just flat out, I'll avoid it. I'll wait till they fuck up before I even attempt to get side by side with them. So.
Yeah, like I'll still say I'll go back to watch our first ever broadcast on Faded TV. Shout out to Brandon.
Faded
was when Dave, me and you were racing each other at Auto Club in the Gen 6 cars. That was probably the most fun race still to this day
that was
that
fun.
I've been part of. We weren't even racing for the win. We were running for fourth, I think. But it was so much fun because like I think you were running the top and I was trying to run the middle, and then every once in a while we would switch and just you were hunting for air, hunting for grip, hunting for the right line. And it's like you were saying when you were racing Hillbilly at Indy, when whoever was behind was studying the guy in front of him, like where's his weakness? How do I get by him? And I think a lot of people who hear us, they're like, oh, you do sim racing, everything like that, think it can't possibly be difficult. Let me tell you guys, it's very difficult to win.
Physically even demanding at times.
Yeah. Like it's very, very, very mentally mentally draining as well, because there's a lot of neurological load, let's call it, that you have to put into these races to be able to do the right thing at the right time, and the physics and everything from how where the car makes grip to how the car makes aero grip. And how the cars around you affect it. It's all down to a T.
And your visuals as the driver.
Yeah, and your visuals as the driver. Yeah, for sure. And it's just, it makes for sometimes very frustrating, but it's a lot of fun. It's very challenging. And I think that's what attracts most of us to it.
Yeah. Where we at, Josh?
Well, how much time do we got? We got one more?
We'll just go with it.
Let's keep going. All right. Next one, we'll start with Juggles.
Oh shit!
What moment in iRacing still haunts you?
Juggles. Oh shit!
Fucking New Hampshire. Damn it! Like,
is that New Hampshire Gen 6 or next gen?
Gen 6. I haven't been able to do much in the next gen. Gen 6. That one fucking race bugs.
Not even Richmond in the Gen 6 where Johnny beat you by a quarter of a fucking nose?
He also
he didn't even have a nose.
Yeah, he didn't.
No, that race was that race was a struggle most of the time. I just ran strategy decently enough to get where I was. New Hampshire was a race where I didn't have much practice into it. I didn't have a lot of confidence in what I could do at the track, and then I found something that worked in the middle of the race. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use this, and managed to get to the front, get to, I think, at the top 3 or 4, and then bunch everything up because there was a caution, and then managed to get to the lead for a while, and then wreck myself or spin myself, and then lead again and spin myself. And I lost the fucking race because I just charged the corner way too fucking much, blew the fucking corner, and I couldn't recover fast enough for it to matter. Like that race right there bugs the shit out of me. Daytona bugs me, sure. The super speedway stuff is like fun. I like to think I'm good at super speedway shit. Okay, I've lost those races. I'm not worried about that. That New Hampshire fucking race bugs the shit out of me every day.
Mm-hmm.
That one lives rent free in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
It does every fucking day.
Well, we're gonna be talking about a lot of rent free here.
Yeah, we are. We'll go to Lurfano next. He's pointing this way. I think he's probably over there.
I don't know. You guys know me. I kind of pride myself in mistake-free racing. So, the one and Chad will remember this. I have a bad memory, so I don't remember the cars. I think it was Xfinity cars back when we first started, and it was Watkins Glen.
Yes, it was Xfinity cars. I
was running the Terry Labonte throwback scheme.
Mm-hmm. I remember. I got a close look at it.
I, at that time, I think I was probably top 3, top 5 on a road course. I think Juggles, Louis was in that race.
Louis, Juggles.
Road courses to me I've always focused on keeping it on the track, not making the mistakes. Lap 1, coming up through the S's, we're all bunched together. I fucking clipped the grass, looped it in the middle of the S's, and I think everyone fucking hit me coming through there. It was lap 1.
Everybody missed you but me.
Okay, so it was me and Chad. That ruined our race. Because of course, Dave, no yellow. And
I was Dave, firewall deep in your driver's door.
Dave, that's okay, man. If you remember, I wrecked you. You were the pole sitter, one of the road courses.
That was Road America.
Road America, and I wrecked you
under the pace lap. Yeah,
before the green flag ever came out.
We go, down the hill into the first left-hander
story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a stupid pace lap story from Road America as well on the trucks. I gotta shout Juggles out for this one because he worked with me for days driving trucks at Road America, and Road America is such a fun racetrack, especially in trucks. And I qualified 3rd.
Hell yeah!
Behind Faded and Juggles. So, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. Right, we come around, and for those of you who know Road America, the last turns is a 90-degree right-hander before you go up the hill to take the green. I drop my left side wheels off the racetrack onto the grass at pace speed and loop the whole damn truck around. By the time I get it straight, the whole field is already taking the green and they're gone. I'm like, well, shit. Also, per our league rules, there are no cautions at road courses, so I'm not
league rules. We just went off of Iracing.
And it was just I still ended up finishing 4th somehow because I think everybody else had problems, and I was able to keep it on the racetrack the rest of the race. But yeah, I felt like such a jackass, if you will.
Cool story, Dave. That was a good explanation of your worst Iracing moment.
Do we give him another one now?
Yeah, go ahead and give him
fat fucking wang.
Hillbilly.
Moment that haunts
you.
Okay, I'm gonna, since you already told my other one, Dave. Let's go back to I don't know. I finished second to this guy so many freaking times. Let's go back to, I think it was Michigan for the Final Four race for the championship. Whoever finishes in front of the other wins the championship.
And the Gen 6 cars.
Dave's behind me, just waiting, and then push. I think what happened was on the pit stop, I got out in front of him and tried to get going. And Dave just kind of laid back there and followed me along, just pushing me along. He was pacing, I was running the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, I'll let you burn your shit up.
Yeah, burnt my shit up, and another calculated move by Dave, and another championship loss to Dave.
Yeah, that was the first one though.
But
it was only the first one.
For the folks at home who are feeling bad about my sad stories here, we're teammates, so it's been good finishing 1-2.
Does it really help though?
No, I really want to be number one, but I got the trophy. I didn't get a trophy for second.
I do got to say the best season that we had with me and Hillbilly was that first season we did the next gens.
Oh my god, yeah, you guys were.
I think we went out and won 3 or 4 races apiece.
Yeah.
So
yeah, y'all ran the table that year.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good battle.
Chad, even though you're told one, give you another chance.
Yeah, dude, I've done a lot of stupid shit, so that wasn't even close to being the worst. No, you guys know which one's the worst for me, and that was I'm gonna preface this by saying, so he doesn't interrupt me because he's going to anyway. Josh, I'm sorry.
This is where Dave needs to insert the picture that I sent.
So of course you sent the picture because why wouldn't you? Okay, so we're at Kansas. We're in the Gen 6 cars. A nameless driver, which we have already mentioned tonight, was in this race as well. He did some things to draw the ire of several people that are on this podcast right now. And so we were racing. Me and Josh were racing him hard, trying to catch up to him. And to start, this is where things started to go wrong. Josh was running second to him. I was very tight behind Josh coming off of turn 2, so tight that I didn't realize I was beside him and not able to slide up behind him. And I tried to slide up behind him so we could draft down the straightaway, and I just clipped his corner and sent him spinning down to the infield. So I wrecked Josh. I'm sorry, Josh. I've heard enough. Luckily he's gracious and hasn't brought it up since.
Never, not one word.
Yeah, never heard of it. But the race goes on.
I think we were teammates at that point too.
We were. But anyway, we're going and going. Race plays out. The same driver, he ran well. He kind of took advantage of a situation at one point that he created to keep himself in the race. But again, that's not what the story is about. Come down to a green-white checkered, and I'm running second behind him. I was able to get up to him after taking the white, and he was just blocking the shit out of me, which is at Kansas in those cars with the 550 package is what you have to do. And when he came off of 2, I was right up to him, and I was like, I've got to fake him out. So I went up to the wall really quick, and as soon as I saw him move up to block me, I jerked it back low, and before he knew it, I was beside him. And actually, I had that backwards. I went down, then he went down, and I went up. So I was on his outside going into 3. And I had that really good high line push in 3 and 4 up on, the top side banking, because Kansas has progressive banking, and just had a killer run coming around the outside. Like I was just starting to move past him and coming to the line. Like there was no way he was going to be able to beat me if he didn't wreck me, and the car starts sputtering. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of gas. Still don't know how it happened. I pitted the same time everybody else did. Everybody else had plenty of fuel. I'm going to chalk it up to an Iracing glitch, but oh my God, I was sick. I'm still sick about it, because even though, and like Dave, I think he was trying to encourage me, but he made it worse and everything. He's like, we're in the chat after the race, and he's like, yeah, Chad, you would have won that race. I'm like, I know.
I was there, motherfucker. I know I would have won that race.
I know I would have.
I'm still on the front stretch doing donuts in my head. So it's all good. You can't win them all. That's what made that is what the very next week was the Bristol race that I referenced earlier as being my best moment. So I doubt I would have appreciated. I mean, I still would have appreciated winning that Bristol race, but it meant that much more to me because of the sting of the week before. So
take the good with the bad, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Without pain, you can't appreciate pleasure.
Yeah. Juggles.
What?
Wake up.
I am awake.
Who's next?
Me for the finale. I'm sure Chad thought I was gonna say Kansas. as well.
I thought it would be in the conversation, maybe not your boys.
It's not. It does haunt me because up until said driver did said thing, there was about 12 to go, and I had an 8-second lead over second place. I was fucking gone. So that one's there, but like, we go back to, I say it again, the trucks at Vegas, but the SRM money race for mental health awareness that a lot of us did. We were doing that one. The town that I lived in at that point, I had really crappy internet, but I decided to do it. I was running top 4 for the majority of the night, but I kept having internet issues and it would start to glitch. And about, I don't remember how many laps, 130 laps or something. I think about halfway through, I had blinked enough times where the guys asked me to pull off and quit from the event just for the blinking. But that one really gets me because I was running top 4 with guys that aren't even in our league, guys that run other leagues that are, we don't know their skill level because we haven't, aside from that SRM race, we haven't got to race with them. But guys that I feel like
the money.
Did you finish third in that one?
Yeah, I donated the money back, but yeah, I was in the money. Finished third.
Yeah. So I mean, guys that we never get to race with them. It was a great event that they put on. I was very appreciative to run in it, but I was running up there at the top with those guys. I was leading laps and everything, and just because of internet issues, having to back out of having a chance to do that. I think that one's number one for me because I don't know what would have happened out of it. It didn't get a chance to, whether it would have been me getting wrecked out or anything. It had nothing to do with anything racing related to take me out of it.
Yeah.
So that one still, every once in a while I jump on the SRM page and I watch that race because I'm like, how was I doing? I watch up there, top 4. Here I am in the inside. Up, I'm in the lead. I'm in second. I'm back in the lead, 4th. So that one really really stings. Just like I said, nothing to do with racing related at all to take me out of it. Thank you, Billy. Again.
All right. What are we on time?
Yeah, it was still all right.
We good? All right.
I have one thing for you guys real quick. Oh, did Juggles go yet?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I know we kind of discussed different things, not really knowing what's happening next season yet with the announcements. Are you guys intending to race next season?
I'm hoping to, but as I've said in previous podcasts and everything, right now, being dad is number one priority to me. So if things work out well and I can do it, I'm going to do it. But if I need to be dad, I'm being dad.
Yep.
Yeah, perfectly understandable.
And you?
Yes, sir. That's the plan, at least. It hinges on whether or not I need to buy a new wheel, because you guys know I've been having wheel issues this week. But if I can get that worked out, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know Juggles is. He's always into race, so.
I don't know. I may not race for the summer.
Whoa!
Because Joseph has baseball, doesn't he?
Well, no. Sundays. We're doing our summer league again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking Tuesday Night League.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Patrick McQuaid may not be returning full time anyway. And I don't know if that's till August or when exactly, but I know he's got a little one on the way, and
yeah,
racing with us once that
takes a lot.
Yeah, and that's that's respectable.
Yeah, no,
I was still here.
That's a good point.
Your kid was 2 by the time we started all this mess. Ish. About where mine is
that's
now.
like the worst time.
Quick, everybody look at Juggles. He's yelling at somebody.
Oh.
Hey.
The comments, I will not make them.
All right, next
Fuck
one.
you, I'm being a big ass
next
child.
I think we can
We'll start
squeeze
with
in.
Orfano on this one.
I think we can squeeze in the last two. Be a little long,
Okay.
but we'll be all right.
All right, let's move along then.
Hey,
All right. Starting with Orfano on this one. What would be your all-time favorite NASCAR track combo or your general favorite car track combo? Any, not just specifically to NASCAR, just any car track combo.
Is that iRacing or watching?
Watching.
Real world.
And with the next question, don't go into your local stuff. We'll get to that part. We're just talking
to me,
worldwide, any big spectacle type idea.
That kind of changes some stuff. I guess I'd stick with the NASCAR stuff. Martinsville, because I like the short tracks beating it. So it's really the last short track we still have that's a true short track where it's beat, bang, shove your way to the fucking front. Would be Martinsville, probably a trucks. Because I think the trucks, I feel like those guys are just meatheads anyways and do more stupid shit. So
you're not wrong.
It makes it more exciting, I guess, than the Cup guys. That's mine.
Chad?
I would have to say maybe the Gen 4 cars at old school Bristol before they did the progressive banking, where the bump and run days, where the whole field was right around the bottom. If you wanted to pass a guy, you had to either get a run on him down the straightaway off the turn, or you had to pick his rear wheels off the ground. Like it was those two things that you had to do, and it just I think the mental toughness was at a much higher level back then. Just based on, we had a guy this weekend got squeezed into the wall and he went and got in a fist fight about it. If egos were that fragile back in those days, they would have had to have a boxing ring in the infield.
I think what happened this last week was any other driver than somebody else involved with it, it might have been a different story, but it's a recurring thing with the other driver.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think if we're looking back, I'm with Chad. Like back in the older days, like the '90s, to me, Bristol was unbeatable. I mean, back then you couldn't get a ticket to the night race at Bristol.
160,000.
And of course, me as a Terry Labonte fan with the Earnhardt deal was amazing to be able to see that back in the day. So,
did you see them both, or just
I watched them both. I watched them both live on TV.
I always thought it was fascinating how, what bigger picture do you ever see painted of a guy who learned his lesson? Okay, I wrecked him off 4 last year. He still won.
This time I'm gonna get him.
Now
off
I'm gonna do it in the middle of the corner this time.
I'm gonna wreck him off a 2 this time, and he did.
Again, making a good plan and going through with it.
I mean, that was a great victory lane the first year where Terry. I mean, he had no nose left on the cars. You know what I mean?
So he was firewall deep, man. I'm surprised the car even drove to get back.
He sure did flip his attitude on that second one, though.
I still remember what he said too, and they're like, "Oh, Dale said he didn't mean to wreck you. He just meant to rattle you." He's like, "Yeah, he don't ever mean to wreck nobody. It just happens that way."
and that leads us to what's happening today with Ross Chastain. He'll be the next hyped up individual.
I mean, look, Ross landed a good punch, but I mean, I
wouldn't want to mess with.
Noah. I think Noah needs a little more credit because the only reason that Ross didn't get rocked
the bodyguard,
the security guard caught Noah's hand in the air.
Well, funny thing, so I saw just a little clip from Hamlin on his podcast today. He goes, Noah has to have the strongest chin out of anybody I've ever met because he's been in 2 fights. He's not landed a punch, but he's taken 2 to the chin. And he's been in
3 fights because he was behind he was behind the wall with Harrison Burton beating the hell out of him.
Okay.
Yeah, he landed one on Harrison Burton for sure. It's still the best NASCAR punch.
Call the 2 though was the
Austin. Is it
Emmerich and
I have a 2-way tie for the best NASCAR punch I've ever seen, and I'll finish this quick so we can move along. But one is Marcus Ambrose and Casey Mears at Richmond, because Marcus Ambrose, like Casey Mears' ancestors, felt that hit. And then there was a cell phone video last year of Myatt Snyder getting in Austin Hill's face.
Yes.
And I don't know how Mike Snyder didn't know how that was going to go. No relation, by the way. But yeah,
He's a big boy.
Austin Hill trains MMA. How many he's big?
He don't have to train him. That's a big corn-fed
Oh,
boy.
is that that one where you see him like fucking?
He was dragging his knuckles when he reached back to swing.
Yeah,
his knuckles on the
I
ground.
remember that shit. Fuck, I forgot that happened. You see him wind up and boom.
Yeah, he's still feeling that today.
Yeah. All right, so that's mine. Go ahead. We can move along now.
All right, Juggles.
What was the question again?
All-time favorite track car combo of anything aside from your local stuff.
Real world.
If I could see them do it, it would be cool as shit. And this is gonna be the most random form of racing that I think I've ever talked about, like around anybody. The Copa Truck Series, COPA trucks. It's in Brazil. It's fucking 18-wheeler cab over, mostly trucks.
Oh, you sent me videos of these before.
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go see those trucks, or if they've ever brought them to America, see them run around like Watkins Glen. I think that would be the ideal track for them to go around.
Those guys are crazy.
Those dudes are fucking insane. Because they're not going slow in these trucks. Like, they're not just creeping around. No, they're blasting down the straightaway at Interlagos in Brazil at like 140 mile an hour, jamming on the brakes for turn 1, making the turn, and going down the next straightaway. It's ridiculous. I love it. A close second would be to see the Brazilian stock cars anywhere. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. Chad?
I've already gone.
He's already gone. Hillbilly.
Yeah, so any track, any vehicle, I'm gonna say the stealth bomber over Charlotte Motor Speedway. That was just badass. I mean, it was so low, so quiet, and it made a shadow. It was terrifying. But no, that was badass though. Damn, it's a tough one between early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, being at Bristol when it's packed so tight in there that when the person beside you turned, everybody turned in the whole damn row because you're just packed in so tight. That was awesome. We were there, broke the Guinness record for doing the wave around the stands.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty kick ass. Cool facility, great racing at the time on that track for sure. But the best facility out there to go to is Daytona. I mean, they have state of the art everything. A lot of money spent. The racing obviously is always good in just about any car they put out there. The next gen car sounds the best, and because the way they do the exhaust out both sides now, it's weird because when the car's going away from you, it's not as loud as it is, of course, when they come by, and then they go away, and then you hear them loud again, and then it's just kind of a neat experience. But yeah, I don't know. Racing's probably would be Bristol though. Martinsville's cool though too. Watching Logano get spun out by Matt Kenseth. That was.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Couldn't happen. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah,
I'll argue with you about engine sound all day because I love the Boom 2 era of NASCAR.
I see you, Josh.
Those cars sounded fucking insane.
I don't know, man. Being right there, like I say, the car sounds so much different now. The next gen the car does.
Yeah, I noticed that when we went to Richmond. That's the first next gen race I had seen, and I remember when they fired them up, it was like, ooh, they sound so deep. Like the old cars didn't sound that deep.
They've already sent me renewals for that for like $250.
Every time we talk about it, nobody has the money to pay for it. Fuck you.
We'll quit talking about. We won't mention it again.
No.
Easy.
Over here talking about. I keep trying to talk him into going to Austin with me, but he don't want to go. Like, motherfucker, we never have the money to go to Coda.
I've seen the prices for F1 there. Nope. I'll take it.
All right, Josh, you're up.
I've never seen a race there. I don't even think I've really watched it on TV, but just the track, the history, and the corners would be Spa. Watch. I don't want to say like the early 2000s, the old V10 F1 cars go flying through Oru and Redalian Oh my God, that would just be amazing to watch. Those
You were
cars
just
fly up through there.
stroking Juggle's ego right now.
I know.
As he strokes his beard.
I figured he would be on that because those two corners, the way that they are built, and those V10 F1 cars, the way they sounded, that right there, that's the epitome of racing to me. To hear the sound of those cars flying through there.
Rouge and Radeon are a set of insane corners because there's a lot of cars flat, and it gets so sketchy.
Like, well, you're downhill getting to it, so you got a full head of speed. You got they're both easy left and right. If you're on a flat, you're fine. But you come up, and as soon as you're making that left hander at Redalion, it levels. You're coming uphill, and it levels out.
You can't see your exit.
Can't see shit. Yeah.
Can't see anything. That car just wants to get light. And so you have to have the biggest pair of balls out of any person ever to keep a car flat out through there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
For sure.
So
Juggles, I will tell you, like, you don't know how close my favorite one came to being an F1 race.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say Monaco.
Oh. That's fair.
It's a historic track, but the racing there is shit.
And the racing may not be great, but I enjoy technical racetracks. And that's a very, very technical course.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel like it's harder. It's difficult. At a high-speed road course, it's obviously difficult to be fast. But I feel like there are so many more opportunities to lose time on a technical track. And so you have to be so much more disciplined on a track like Monaco.
I'll be back in a second. Keep talking.
I mean, you clip the wall just right. You're ripping the corner off the corner.
All right, guys. What do you really think of Josh?
Fuck that guy.
Okay. Somebody make fun of his shorts when he gets
What
back.
a fucking asshole.
Man. I think if we have a second, as far as tracks I'd like to see added, I would love. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I want to see Macau get put in iRacing.
Yep. That's not bad.
That track is. I don't know how many of y'all have watched videos. The track is not a fucking racetrack, but somehow they make it work. It's fucking dumb.
I think they ought to put the Daytona Beach track just kind of.
That'd be cool.
I mean,
run on the beach.
Why not? We got
the main stretch.
We got the fucking dumb iRacing Super Speedway. I mean,
and then put some of the older cars out there, the 50 models and stuff like that.
I don't know that you'll get the 50 models cars, but you may get the track one day. I would like if they're going to recreate tracks based on memory and just historical data like that, I'd like to see them bring back Riverside.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That was a dangerous track.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous track.
I've driven that track in R Factor. It's so fun and
It's
entertaining
sketchy.
to run a lap.
Yeah,
Like
that track was awesome. Like, and it sucks that they can't go scan it because obviously it doesn't exist anymore. But that's.
That is fucking nasty.
is Josh coming back?
I don't know. I think he had to go be dad for a second. Either that or he just had to pee.
What is it?
Oh.
Oh, he's back. What is it?
Nice. Here he comes. Hey, Josh.
Hi.
Shorts, bro.
Nice shorts.
Yeah.
Nice shorts, bro.
Nice shorts, a-hole.
I'm glad you were wearing
Come back
shorts.
with my shirt off.
Fat fucking
Nobody
Wang.
else is wearing underwear or shorts when they're ready?
Whoa. Too much sexy. Put it away.
All right, Josh. I think we have just enough time to squeak in this last one.
All right, last one then. I'm gonna go on this one because I haven't gone first. I've gone last every time. But the question is, what is your favorite local track in Series Combo? So anything around you and what they run. So going to it, we've talked. I'm from Iowa. Out here, dirt is king. Chad, I don't know about Hillbillies area, but Dave, they're all the short track asphalt. Out here, it's all dirt. We have, aside from the Iowa Speedway, which doesn't get a whole lot of races, we have one track, Hawkeye Downs, that's asphalt, and that's it. But out here, I think my favorite is to watch the B modifieds, or what they call sport mods, out at the Boone Speedway. It's a 3/8 of a mile high bank dirt track, and it's an exciting track. It's where they host the IMCA Super Nationals. It's almost a 10-day event anymore. I think it's 9 days last week. They had almost 1,000 cars sign up for it, I believe, the last time. So it's a great track and venue, but out here, yeah, we got the Knoxville Speedway. I'm not a huge sprint car guy. They scare the shit out of me. Seen too many guys get killed in them and all that, so I'm not a fan of that. So to keep it in a true car style, it'd be the sport mods. I got a buddy that runs out there, and I love helping him work on his car and that kind of stuff. Seeing what's going on with that speedway.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Let's go to Juggles.
Oh, well,
I don't think Juggles has much out there.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. I don't have a lot of close local short tracks.
There's a lost.
Although I did find out. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Chad let me know, and I didn't know this. So
Texas World Super Speedway.
No. We had a track that was about 20 minutes south of where I live. It was called San Antonio Speedway. We had a short track. I didn't know there was a second short track to the northeast of that track. What the fuck was it called, Chad? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't remember. I haven't seen that episode in a while. I don't remember what that one was. I know the original one was San Antonio, but the other one, the interesting part was that the other one was built specifically to rival San Antonio.
Yeah, no, other way around.
Was it?
It was backwards. Yeah, they built San Antonio Speedway to try and beat the other track.
Oh, and they did. They ended up shutting the other track down
because the other track was doing shitty things with the money. Like the drivers weren't getting much out of racing there, so they started going to San Antonio Speedway.
Yeah.
But the closest track to me that I can say any kind of a place that I would like to go and watch a race or go for a weekend and watch races. I have I-37 Speedway. It's a dirt track that I've looked up a little bit, not really paid attention to, but from what I understand, there's some pretty good racing that goes on down there. But that's the closest to me.
Guess it was happens when your state's 12 hours fucking wide.
Yeah, no shit. There's a road course that's relatively well known down here called Harris Hill. That's in San Marcos, Texas, and a lot of people like that track. It's more of a track though. It's not much of a car track, I guess. It's relatively narrow in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been out there. That was a cool track to see because it's very as basic as it is. There's some technical parts, like stuff you have to be ready for because there's a really depending on what because they run the track in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. When you run it clockwise after turn 2 is a big uphill with a really, really, really blind end corner that if you're not ready for it, you will miss the corner every fucking time. But those are the closest local tracks to me. Hell yeah.
Hillbilly?
Told you. Well, I mean, I live in an area where there's not a whole lot of racing going on, so.
Yeah, sure.
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
There ain't no tracks around there.
No, I mean,
no racing teams either.
You might have heard of this little track, Hickory. Hickory's nice. You've got Rockingham's not far from here. Yeah, just like the tree.
I never heard of that one.
I don't know. There's a bunch. Do I get out? No, I should go out and support my local tracks. I just don't. A lie.
Oh, dude, if I lived where you live, I'd never be home on a Saturday night.
I know. I really need to get to North Wilkesboro.
Just Hickory, just for the fact of the historic
Jarrett's.
The history of that track and all that stuff.
Yeah,
sure,
I don't lie. I have to do this summer.
Super excited for next weekend to see all the improvements done to Wilkesboro.
I've been following some of the pictures and stuff that Bob Pockers has been putting up.
Oh my god,
And the place looks amazing. Like it looks really good.
A track that 2 years ago everybody said this is it, it's done, it is going to be demoed soon. To having the chance to run an all-star race there with NASCAR and what they've done.
Anyone that doubts Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s reach among this sport needs to just take a look at North America and what it looked like 2 years ago, because he is singularly responsible.
A few years ago, what it looked like when they ran the race there last year or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
October.
2 years ago, Junior thought it was going to be done too, and he says, "Come, I need people to come out and help me get this track cleaned up so they can scan it in iRacing so we don't lose it."
I remember that was a huge deal when it got put in iRacing. It was like, oh man, this is awesome.
Yep, and they're like, this is the last we're going to get to see of this track, pretty much is what everybody thought. And
I mean,
here we are.
Honestly, like 3 years ago, it had grass growing out of the racing surface. And now it's about to host the All-Star race.
And a truck race. It gets a truck race. Truck points race, yeah.
Yep, and a bunch of late model races too.
Yep.
So that's an awesome deal.
Question. Yeah. How mad do you think the dirt guys were when they found out they weren't going to get there with it being dirt?
I think that's still the plan. I think it just got shoved back.
Yeah, because they're supposed to get repaid. Yeah,
it's gonna have to be
repaid. Yeah, it's terrible, but it's not terrible. It's got character. It's like Atlanta was before they repaved it.
Yeah,
you got oak trees growing up through the middle of it.
Almost.
That could be their cone rules. Go around the tree.
Right.
Just mind the stumps.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. I think we kind of know yours. Maybe.
Well, I mean, there's a few there's a few go-kart tracks around here, and given my background in karting, like I pay close attention to them. Yeah.
You got availability?
Not
availability
like
on a Saturday.
I mean actual racetracks, not electric go-karts in a freaking building.
I don't care what you say. Electric go-karts are fun.
No, that's a story for another episode. But
hey guys,
I came up through karting, and so a lot of the WKA tracks around here. There's one in King George. It's about 30 minutes from me. That's now called King George Speedway. It's called State Line Speedway when I raced there. There's a really nice dirt track in Amelia, which ironically is called Amelia Motor Speedway. Really well maintained dirt track. I've raced there a bunch, and that was a lot of fun. But as far as stock car tracks, you guys joined me at the most current one down here, Dominion Raceway Park, which is actually they have a couple different layouts there. They have a road course on the premises. They have their oval track that you guys saw. Also, they shut down on Friday nights. They shut down a straightaway of the road course and use it as a no prep drag strip for street cars to come in and run, just test and tune and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. But I do.
Did we get to see a race?
We didn't get to see the
oval track.
Weather did not. You got to see the track. Yes.
Did they actually race at Dominion?
Yeah, you saw a race too. You saw a race too.
I know.
So
sorry, I can't help it.
I mean, next time y'all can plan it. Fuck it. We'll see how well y'all do with controlling the weather.
You couldn't have planned it any other days. I mean, it's not like we had options.
No, but, just the fact that everything else that day just went up.
That day went to shit completely. So, but I do miss the old Dominion Speedway, which used to be in Manassas, which is about 45 minutes north from here. That place had a lot of history and a lot of character, and also had a drag strip there. That also had a lot of history and stuff there. It was kind of sad to hear about it getting torn down when they were proposing building the one that we went to. But I think the one that we went to down there, it does really well, especially having the cars tour there is a big deal. And it puts on a good show. I truly I hate this bit that you guys are doing because I really wish we could have seen a race there because it does put on a good race.
Hey, we saw 4 laps of the Legends. You
saw a whole Bandolero race.
Bandoleros. Yeah.
4 laps. It was only 4 laps. Or is that a full Bandolero race?
Could be.
Very exciting.
Let's say yes. We will make the rules. It's right. Josh, they're just words. They don't have power over us.
Okay. Davey?
Dave, you look really surprised.
You know me. I'm a huge short track guy. So I've been to a lot of short tracks everywhere. Hickory is a great track. Just the historic, but the thing about Hickory that I like, it's kind of weird is, well, I don't know if Hillbilly's been to Hickory, but off of turn 1 and 2 up on the hill is a cemetery. And they will, anytime there's a funeral, they shut the track down until the funeral's over, which is nice. They show respect for everybody. And it happens every single time I've ever been there. Usually, it's happened in the middle of a race before where they had to shut everything down, stop on the track, shut the engines off. But as far as, and I'm not saying this just because I'm biased, I am a little bit, but Oxford Plains Speedway is my home. I live 10 minutes from the track, 15 tops. Been there my whole life. You'll see some of the best super late model racing you've ever watched right there at that track. And it's hard to believe because there's no banking to that track. It's flat. I mean, we're talking maybe 3 or 4 degrees of banking. But they will stick it out there, run it 2-3 wide at that track, and you can find videos on. It's incredible the type of racing you'll get up there. Like our big race is the Oxford 250, which used to be known as the richest one-day short track race in the country, which was $25,000 to win, with $100 per lap led, which will give you another $25,000. So you could win up to $50,000. I don't know if anyone ever has led every lap and took 50, but we had, back in the day in the 70s, 80s, that was a Busch Grand National points race. So Jeff Gordon's ran up there. A lot of those guys back in the day, in the 90s, they all ran up there. It was a points race. So to me, that's, as far as racing goes, I mean, I've been, like I said, to a lot of the short tracks around, even in New England. Connecticut, Thompson Motor Speedway is a great track. It reminds me of Martinsville a little bit with more speed. Great modified. That's modified country in Connecticut, so it's fun to go see modifieds down there. But Oxford Plains is probably the best as far as overall racing experience too. So.
All right. Well, here's my curveball, real quick for everybody before we go. Darlington coming up. Well, we say this weekend. Again, we are recording this on Wednesday. It's coming out on the following Tuesday. So, but Darlington coming up the past Sunday for everybody listening.
Yep. It just happened.
Just happened 2 days ago. But out of all these schemes that you've seen, all these throwbacks, what's your favorite throwback, Chad?
I actually really liked Ross's. He's got the UPS throwback to Dale Jarrett. I think it's really well done, especially upon learning that Worldwide Express is actually owned by UPS, so it's really not even a sponsor conflict. I've got to mention Chase's, not only because he's my driver, but also because I think his throwback is really cool. Throwing back to his dad in the Evernham 9 car. I think it's a really simple ski, but it looks really good on it.
I thought it was Mayfield.
Mayfield
was 19. Shut up, Dave. Kyle Busch fan.
Casey Kane. There you go. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't
remember those
looked.
guys.
I don't have an opinion. I'm gonna wait until the day before yesterday.
You go to jski.com while we go through this, Hillbilly.
What did I just say? I'm gonna wait until the day before yesterday to see him live.
See him live
all at once. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see many of them either, but I saw something about, was it Larson running something? What was he running?
He's running a Tony Stewart scheme for what Stewart run for Hendrick in a Busch race.
Yeah. I saw that one. That looked pretty sharp.
It's a throwback to I think the first time they ran HendrickCars.com on a car.
Yeah.
Was when Tony drove in the Xfinity race for them.
I mean, he's my pick for the win, but
Byron's is really cool too. I'll mention Byron's unless somebody was going to pick his.
Unfortunately,
nobody knew about this, so we're making this one up as we go.
Byron is running the Chrome Illusion Jeff Gordon scheme from 1998 that celebrated the 50th anniversary. With this year being the 75th, he decided to bring that one back. So, and it looks really good.
I don't watch much NASCAR much anymore, so a lot of that stuff I miss. But
mine, it's not a throwback, but I'm happy somebody's doing it and that the paint is going to get used somewhere. But Keselowski's car. Isn't he
The old GTX. He's running a white Castrol GTX scheme. White.
I thought he was doing a Ken Block paint.
No, that's
Riley
the
Herbst.
Xfinity.
No, and at the beginning of the season, somebody said he was. So they showed a picture of the 6.
No, he did that in a test.
Oh,
that was a test session. Riley Herbst is running the Ken Block's Gymkhana scheme.
Fucking know that.
You don't
Also,
know me.
Since we're speaking about local tracks too, fun tie-in since we brought up Riley Herbst. When I raced go-karts, one of my best friends that I raced against is still a friend of mine to this day. Is actually Riley Herbst's crew chief, Richard Boswell. Richard's dad, Dickie, passed away last year. Good man, just unequivocally good guy, funny guy. Hell of a short track driver. Holds many records at the Old Dominion Speedway. So on May 20th, Dominion Raceway here is actually holding a 200 lapper in his honor. And since the Xfinity Series is off that weekend, Richard and his family are actually going to be there. So hopefully I'll get to go and say hey to my boy because I haven't seen him in years. But I talk to him on Facebook every once in a while. As you know, as busy as he is and as big of things as he's doing, never once have I ever messaged that guy. It may not be the same day, but he never does not answer me. Like he's always answered me anytime I've ever messaged him, and it's just a good, humble dude. Came from a good, humble family, and you know was really upset to hear that Dickie passed away. But I just thought that was a cool thing that Dominion was doing for him.
Yeah. So we apologize. This ran a little long, but I think it's good talking.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, my favorite throwback is the Harrison Burton one, in case anybody cared.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No one cared.
Throwing back to his dad.
Just old 99 X-Side car. I know.
Yep.
Anyway, I didn't keep points. I didn't feel like keeping points. Sadly, I don't feel like there were too many jackasses this week. You
got to pick one.
Pretty clean. I'm going to pick a jackass. I'm always going to pick Juggles. He's jackass.
Excuse me?
Perfect. Jackass of the week goes to Juggles.
Hi.
Fat fucking wang.
God damn it.
Anyway. Well, this is episode 5 of the Mule Barn. Folks, thanks for joining us and dealing with all the Iracing nonsense, but at the same time, like we've said, this is how we all got started together.
I think
what brought this group.
I think we'll have plenty of more episodes.
There'll be
with Iracing.
There'll be more, but this is the biggest ones I feel like of what keeps us going with this. So, again, thanks for showing up. I don't know who's gonna host next week or what we got planned.
I think Juggles needs to host if he was in his fucking chair.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah,
let's vote.
I feel like if you're jackass of the week, you're gonna vote the next week.
Who votes Juggles runs the next show?
Wait, where's my hand?
He's fucked and he's not even here to defend himself.
Right. Juggles it is. Well, it doesn't matter. Majority rules.
But at the same time, Hillbilly was jackass of the week last week, but we couldn't ask him to take care of anything at that point.
We had to let him recover.
Yeah,
sorry,
guys,
buddy.
If you're watching this on Spotify or watch it on YouTube, just know we appreciate you guys. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever the platform that you're on allows you to do. It helps us out tremendously. We need more views. Always need more views, and love to see you guys around here. Drop us a comment wherever you can.
Jackass Nation, all the AARL guys and girls that have been listening. I know that there's been a lot of the guys from the league supporting us through this too, so we appreciate all of them as well. We'll keep it going. We're having fun. Like we were talking last week, we really, aside from Hillbilly, again, I told him I'm sorry that you were because.
Are you going to wrap this up?
Sorry, but just going back to like the conversation we had, you sit there and you wonder, what are these guys like when they're not doing podcasts and all that?
Oh my God!
Like last week was was us. That's how we talk with each other every week. That was the most genuine thing that you've gotten out of us in 5 episodes now.
Oh man, Hillbilly can't wait for us to move on from this. All right, so what I think Hillbilly wants us to express here is that what happened last week is not his normal demeanor, and we can all speak for that.
He's normally awake when we're.
He's normally like he is right now.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, this is normal Hillbilly. So like last week was an outlier for Hillbilly, which is why we felt the need to share it with everybody. Yeah. No, I mean, we try to keep it natural around here while also giving you guys entertainment value. So, anyway, you can get suggestions to us. We are open to them. So, yeah, reach out.
And we're out.
Hey, by the way, Juggles, here's the final information before we clock out. You're hosting next week. See y'all next week.
Yeah, bitch.
See ya.
Son of bitch.